Hey guys, me and Team here, and bringing you another match, Zerg vs Terran. Yes, my most hated matchup. The reason you are seeing so many Zerg vs Terran matches from me, well, it's twofold. For one, quite frankly, I don't see a lot of Zerg Mirror. In my 30-some solo games, I've had maybe like 4 or 5 Zerg Mirror, and a lot of those were either successful or failed 6 pulls, which most of you are tired of seeing from me and probably from everybody else. So that's no good. And the Protoss are also largely ending in 6 pulls, and I haven't lost to a Protoss yet via a 6 pull. It can be done, and I know how to block it as a Protoss myself, and I suspect if I ever make it to Platinum League, it's not going to work. And not Platinum, in Diamond League, I'm in Platinum League currently actually, then yeah, they'll actually know how to stop it there too. But for the time being, since I'm getting such high returns on 6 pulling Protoss, I just do that. But you know, who wants to see that? So yeah. Here, as Mighty says he saw me, and that's not surprising. But he picked random, and I wanted to know what he was. So I see that he's Terran. And here I just go, I guess, oh yeah, I did a pull at 9. Because I was worried, like maybe he'd random Zerg and 6 pull me or something, or maybe I'd get proxied, or any number of things. So I decided to play a little bit safe. And then when I get the minerals, I see that it's Terran. I just go ahead and plop down an expansion. I not only saw that it was Terran, but it wasn't a proxy Terran or anything of that nature. Rather, it was a Terran building a wall, which is much more typical. So a little bit earlier today, I lost the game to Terran, which I will be uploading. In fact, it's probably already uploaded since I recorded that before this, and will upload it before this. So unless something weird happens, that game is already up. Anyway, I lost to basically like 1 or 2 tanks and a bunch of infantry in that game. So yeah. In this game, I'm doing a very similar expansion strategy, and I'm going to try to learn my lesson and bring lings, or at least enough lings to not die. And yeah, I killed a worker in an SCV and decided to mildly taunt my opponent, mostly to screw around, have fun with the game a little bit. So yeah. It's a little bit odd to play somebody random because there aren't too many randoms. I would say probably the majority of my opponents have been Terran. And I mean that as a majority, like over 50% in a 3-way race split. And that's not to say that I haven't seen the other races, but as it turns out, just my most interesting games tend to be against Terran, just because they tend to go on a little bit longer and don't end in like, Zerg versus Zerg, someone goes Banelings and blasts the other person to pieces, or someone goes Speedlings a little bit too fast for the other guy to get roaches, or somebody gets roaches and the other guy doesn't have enough to stop it because they're trying to go air, but they don't make it in time, or they do make it in time, and then air wins. It's just, I don't know, whenever I play Zerg Mirror, it feels like cat and mouse. Okay, here we have the Terran pressing my expansion. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to take out the rocks and flank him. Well, that's not working at all. And here he comes up for my... I don't know what he's doing. He has to make a decision, though. I'm pretty sure he knows about the expansion. Yeah, he does. And so I just run some Zerglings behind him and flank him. So this time I don't die as easily. Now he's using Hellions instead of siege tanks. But, Hellions are supposedly a better counter against Zerglings and siege tanks. So that's not something that's really shocking. I'm a little surprised I was able to defend that well against it, but then again, there was only one Hellion, and it was damaged by the random Zerglings I had running around that were not grouped. So now I'm fearing Terran Air, so I'm going to throw down an Evolution Chamber. That helps against drops, just having a Spore Crawler here and there. It helps them respect and kind of forces them to drop in one location as opposed to wherever they want. And also allows me upgrades, which I can use. I've also read comments and I thank you guys so much for offering me help on these video series, because I have gotten better from a combination of your tips and watching other people's YouTube videos, and have been so impressed with the amount I was able to improve because of that. And you guys suggested that rather than building extra hatcheries in my base, that I just expand all over the place, much like other pro Zerg players do frequently. And I'm going to take that advice and start spreading creep tumors. I mean, I'm a little bit rusty at it first. And yeah, here he comes with the Hellions. I guess he's trying to bait me. But instead, he just gets right in between again. I mean, he just fell for this trick last time, and now he's falling for it again. So, surrounded by Zerglings. And despite that Hellions are significantly better against Zerglings than, well, most other Terran options, he just didn't play that well. He got pincered, and that's going to be death. I don't know. I think Zerg players should do that more. I think I commented in other videos that I think Zerglings are underused as a military option long term. And obviously there's counters to them. They can be beaten, and they can be blasted to pieces very quickly, but they're also highly mobile. So yeah, they can get the job done in situations like the one we just saw. Anyway, this guy's just doing more of the same, and I don't know. He's got to be feeling pressure now. I mean, he lost quite a bit there. Let's look at units lost. Yeah, I mean, especially given his supposed hard countering of me, losing almost 1,000 extra resources to me while I have an expansion, puts me up at a big lead on him. It's really gotta hurt. So I guess he's doing this to try to claw back into the game. I don't know. So I decided to try and set up an expansion here. This is really more for production to spend my money than it is for drones. But you know, once I exhaust a resource node or whatever, then I can do it. And here he surprises me with a Banshee, but just one Banshee. I guess that's a trade-off between having the element of surprise, because I would eventually scout him. In fact, I was very close to doing so. And actually being able to do some damage once you land. So he's going to kill my queen. He's going to walk into the spore colony and take some pot shots. And then I'm going to have my Hydralisk spawn, because I know this Banshee, and I'd actually built a Hydralisk den just for such an occasion. And yeah, now I have some Hydras, and the Banshee's off in La La Land. And so I'm just going to build a Spore Crawler. Unless he really goes hard on the Banshees, Spore Crawler will be enough of a problem for it that it's going to be distracted from my workers until I can get my Hydras back. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to spread creep and position myself to actually win this game. I don't think I've found this yet. I do find this expansion during this game with one of my Overseers. I actually get it killed by the missile turrets. Oh wow. Well, that makes sense. And part of the reason I actually scouted this because I suspected it, because I had these expansions locked down with Zerglings and could see that he had nothing. So okay, this is a fairly decisive battle. He's clawed himself back up to 97 supply, but similar to the other game, I have a numerical advantage. Part of that's because he threw units away earlier. But I'm a little bit more balanced in terms of my army now. I'm not all Zerglings, and that's going to help me. I have some Hydralisks, I have some Roaches, and most importantly, I have some Infestors. So let's see how we do. This is like the Nightmare Terror army that's always given me problems in the past, and I'm just going to get my Zerglings toasted. But yeah, welcome to counter collateral there, Terran dude. And unable to heal as fast as the fungal growth damage or micro backwards or anything. He's not going to come out ahead of that too much. I mean, he took out the expansion, but I'm just going to rebuild it because I have a resource advantage. And let's have a look at units lost. He's up on me now, but he's also down on expansion, I guess. Or no, he isn't. I don't know. Maybe I needed to use less Zerglings. That's probably the answer. But one thing I am doing is picking up the Ultralisks, or at least I'm teching for them now. And that should help my cause. Yeah, he actually damaged me quite a bit there. I don't know. I guess Zerglings are better early on for defense, now that I'm looking at the replay. So let's speed it up. I'll just replace the hatchery I lost and continue to spread creep. Now well, once the hatchery completes, I'll have contiguous creep with all my expansions. Pretty sure I know he has the expansion now. Yes, I do. And I'm going to try to pick up a 4th base and just rebuild my army. For whatever reason, the Terran player is not rebuilding his army. He's banking gold. I guess this is why I beat him. I wasn't sure why until now, but this explains quite a bit. He's not spending money anywhere near at the rate I am, and I'm not even doing it ideally. Although once I finish the Ultralisk Den, then it's a lot easier for me to spend money. And look, I even remembered to research chitinous plating. Excuse me. So I just put together a big force with the Infestors. And I really like the Infestors in this matchup. I feel like I've been missing out big time before I started using them. Because, man, it's just... I don't know if it's psychological or what, but I think the area of effect on the Terran infantry is just so great. I think it adds up to, like, what, 36 damage over 8 seconds or something? And that's most of a Marine's health if it's Stimpaks, even with a shield. So, yeah, it's really impressive. They'll, like, die in one hit from something. Or multiples of them will die if there's Ultralisks involved. And so I know he's expanding because he killed my Zergling there. And I figured to just hammer my way through the rocks here. But he's here and sees me, so he just attacks me. And, yeah, he sees the Ultras. I guess he doesn't like it. Starts pulling back. He caught me off guard a little bit because of the rocks. But I still managed to fungal growth some of his Medivacs, which is already starting to cause him trouble. So now I can't heal his forces as quickly. And again, grab some forces as he tries to pull back. They start dying. And then just more fungal growth. Fungal growth everywhere. Better get some of that quick actin tenactin there, guy. So ultimately I lost more units, but I spent more money too. And that allowed me to kill his army and get into his base, and with 3,000 some minerals in the bank. So that will be good game.